Yeousch!
What's up, Yeousch? Whack4863 in the place to be, and today I have a review for the HD PVR 2. That's right, people. We have the newest, the greatest, the latest. Alright, so here's what I'm going to tell you about the HD PVR 2. First of all, it looks super sexy. There it is right there. It is all jet black. It's got a brush top finish, and it looks really good, really cool. It's got this illuminating line that goes around it, and it lights up green. It'll be half lit when it's dormant, and it'll be full lit when you actually start recording. So the first thing that I want to cover is the size of the HD PVR 2. You can see that it's about 3/4 the size or the height of the original HD PVR, and about 20% smaller footprint than the original had, which makes it nice. It makes it a little bit more compact and a little bit easier to deal with when it's sitting on your desk. Now, one thing that you'll notice that's different about this unit is it has a button on the top. That enables you to be able to click that button and start recording as long as you have your software open. Now, I did notice that there was a half a second to a second more lag time in clicking that button than there was if you actually clicked it with your mouse on the computer. However, it is a really cool feature. Maybe you could put this under your desk, click it with your foot, and that would enable you to not have to remove your hands from the controller when trying to capture something. Now, here's the difference on the backs. As you can see, the original PVR had the component input and output. It also had the optical input and output, and it had a remote USB and a power. Now, on the new HD PVR 2, it has the input and output on your HDMI, then it has an input for your audio video, a USB, and a power. They've gotten rid of the optical input and output for your audio, and they've also gotten rid of the jack for the remote and replaced it with that button. On the front also of the old PVR, you had this AV that you could plug into here, and also an S-Video. Obviously, that's gone as well. They've really relied on the HDMI in and out for you to capture your gameplay, and I can't say that I have a problem with that. Now, let's go over what you get in the box. Obviously, you get the HD PVR 2, you get 2 HDMIs, you get a component cable, you get an audio video to component cable for your PS3, you get a USB and a power supply for your unit. There's also some literature and software that comes in the box, and you're pretty much set up to rock and roll. Alright, so now that we've covered the unit, what it looks like, what it comes with, let's move over to the computer and I'll show you the interface and a few things that I found there.
Alright guys, over here on the computer, and something that I wanted to show you real quick is this is 2 files that I dropped in here from Sony Vegas. And what I want to show you here real quick is this side of the screen. Now, some of you guys are going to ask me or are wondering about this, and with the original HD PVR there was a black line that went across the top and across the side that you always had to crop out. Now, what you can see is there is still a small black line across the right hand side. Now, something that I noticed with this one is that it kind of jumps all over the place, and you can see that line right there on my preview, but let's go ahead and jump over to this one. And on this one, it was more predominantly at the bottom. You can see that there. Let me get a good corner shot here. You can see that it's predominantly across the bottom on this one, and it's a much thicker line than it was on the first test. And there's a little teeny tiny, a slight black line across this side. So I'm not sure what the deal is, but you can see that on that preview screen right there, and you can see that thin line on that preview screen there. And let me just blow this screen up quite a bit for you, so you can see that line there, and you can see it there. Yes, it is still there with the new HD PVR 2, but it is much less than it was with the original HD PVR. So let's jump over to the capture software. Alright guys, so here we are looking at the software that comes with the HD PVR 2. Now, before we get into the actual capture module, I wanted to show you they have this edit section where you can actually go in and add transitions, you can add effects, or you can add some text, and you can kind of cut up your video right here in this editing software, and it actually gives you a little countdown here that you can use. There's some pretty cool stuff in here that you're able to use. You can also produce it directly to a DVD, create a file, or upload directly to YouTube. So those options are here. So for somebody just starting out that isn't ready to purchase another video editing system or program like Sony Vegas or Adobe After Effects, this is something that you can start producing with right away. So I thought that was a cool feature that they added. Now this window always stays up even when you open the capture module. You can't close this window, so just plan on having that window open and the capture module window open, which I guess could be a little bit cumbersome, but not a huge deal and not a deal killer. Now you can see right now I have it set on my component, so it's capturing my PS3. Now here's something that I came across when having two units. If you play one night and then the next morning you wake up and you want to play the other one, you will have to open this capture module to be able to switch between the two of them. It will not automatically pass through. So you just do that right here. You'll pick whatever else you want to use, and then it'll switch over. So something to keep in mind when you're buying a unit or when you're thinking about switching between the two of them. Now let's get into the format settings real quick. Now this is a little glitchy for me. I think it's my install, so if an error message comes up, it's not Hauppauge's fault, it's mine. But don't worry about that. So the things you're definitely going to want to get into are video properties. You're probably going to want to change this bit rate. I have it normally set on the highest one. And audio properties, you can take that all the way up to 384 kilobytes or lower, whatever you want to do there, but that option is there. The last one you're going to want to use is the video encoder. Now my suggestion is to take both of these up all the way to 14 million, and that's going to give you the best quality. Otherwise, if you're down here, somewhere down here, you're going to see some areas where it looks pixelated, doesn't look as good as a lot of the videos that are on YouTube and other sites that you upload to. So make sure you change those settings right away. Let's get into the format. Was I just in format settings? Now I can't remember where I was. That's okay. We'll look at it again here once it lets me in. Okay, yeah, we were just in format. So device settings here. This is where you are going to be able to set your decoder, and you're also going to be able to set your brightness, your contrast, hue, saturation, and sharpness. Now, what I did notice is that these default settings, these are the default settings, these are set up to look really, really good on Modern Warfare 3, but I tested some other games with this. I tested some God of War, and it looked really pale, really pasty. So you're going to want to come in here and change these up to make it look a little bit better, to have a little bit more vibrant color in other games. Okay. Other than that, the capture software is just like the capture software from the original Hauppauge. It's that simple to use. You click this button and you're ready to go. So one thing that you guys are probably interested in is, well, how long does it take? Because I've had it and it takes like 5 seconds or whatever, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and click the capture button and count it down. So click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it started at a second, so 6 seconds is about what it takes. Now I do run a boss PC. I've got 16 gig of RAM in there, and my processor is an 8 core at 3.60 gigahertz, so it's really, really fast. It processes fast. So it may differ for you. It may be a little bit slower, maybe a little bit faster, depending on your specs of your PC and your car, your graphics card, everything like that. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have to be pre-recording, or you're going to have to time it just right. Okay. So let's go ahead and stop it there. And it takes about the same amount of time for it to stop, sometimes a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, depending on the size of the file that it's outporting. And also it takes a little bit longer because I'm actually outporting to my D drive instead of my C drive, so it's kind of talking to that drive instead of the drive that it's installed on, which is a little bit slower. But all in all, the software is is solid. It's basically the software that they've had before, and no issues with it. Nothing glitching out, nothing not opening or opening slower. It's pretty consistent all the way through. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you have and you have a like in your pocket, please pull it out and whack the like button. Peace.